It made me cry.
This one's wife. Harry gave all, she took it all. Hello. I'm H.G. Tudor. If The Narcissist was a film, the tagline would probably be, "Nobody leaves without paying." The reason being that no matter what the nature of the dynamic between the narcissist and the victim invariably ends up offering something up, giving something up to the narcissist, and the narcissist takes. This is particularly prevalent in relation to the dynamic that takes place between the narcissist and the intimate partner primary source. The narcissist takes control of that individual. The narcissist draws fuel from that individual. The narcissist acquires character traits from that individual and, of course, residual benefits, which might be, for instance, having that individual run around for them, taking their money. It might be moving into their house, having a roof over their head. It might be taking their friends. And in the course of that dynamic, those who have been involved with a narcissist will attest to the fact that they gave of themselves again and again and again in order to try and make the matter work. They gave their love, they gave their time, they gave their energy, they gave their assets. And they found that over time, they gave up their relationships with other people. They saw friends and family far less than they once did. Indeed, certain of them may have been cut out of their lives altogether. Hobbies were not attended to in the same way that they once were. The relationship with even their own children can be affected by the presence of the narcissist. They may have stopped working to accommodate the needs of the narcissist, or their work was affected as a consequence of the tumultuous behaviour of the narcissist and the chaos that surrounded them, that they were always finding themselves distracted for worrying about their relationship, that they were having to come away from work early to deal with the latest crisis that the narcissist has created. The individual will find that they gave up money, gave up assets, gave up their time, gave up their energy, gave up their emotions, gave up their self-esteem and their confidence, all of which were taken by the narcissist. Any individual that was involved in the dynamic of the intimate partner primary source and the narcissist will be able to make a considerable list of all of the things that were taken from them. The situation is no different between Prince Harry and this one's wife, and indeed, a list was compiled and placed on the subreddit, Saint This One's Wife, they use her full name, as you know I do not, posted by somebody called Ruse Mama. The graphic that was shared there provided me with an excellent opportunity to explain to you further the dynamic between narcissist and primary victim, and to demonstrate how the narcissist takes and the victim gives. So from this infographic, what has been described as that which Harry has given up? His father, King Charles, his brother William and sister-in-law Catherine, cousins, nieces, nephews, lifelong friends, senior royal role, use of HRH which he had from birth. He gave up his military titles and patronages. He gave up housing. He gave up security from the state. He gave up financial support from the duchy and the sovereign grant. He gave up love and admiration of the global community. He gave up his country. One can add to that list, of course, that he's also, in the course of the ensnarement, given up his self-esteem, given up his sanity, given up his time, given up money towards her, his dignity. Look how he often parades behind her a cowed and downtrodden individual. Harry has given up so much. This isn't stated in order to make you feel sorry for Harry, although you might do so, but is to demonstrate what an individual who is ensnared by the narcissist gives up. Because it is never, ever an equal exchange. No relationship is. There's always a degree of imbalance. One person might do more for the other within the relationship, or there are different things that people do in different proportions. But ultimately, they're not abusive. They're not a piss take. The infographic tells us what this one's wife actually gave up. Also, her father, her half-siblings, her extended family, and friends. The senior royal role, which she held for 17 months, the use of HRH, which she only had from marriage, an acting career, well, it wasn't particularly extensive, housing, she didn't own a house before she married Harry, security, money, admiration, she only got them as a consequence of her involvement with Harry. And the person who created the graphic states, Harry gave up everything, this one's wife gave up nothing, and asks, was she worth it? This is demonstrative of certain narcissists that will come to the party with very little and take away so much. What did this one's wife bring to the dynamic? Well, she brought a false compassion for Harry, which he lapped up. She brought up plenty of spicy poontang, which he similarly lapped up. She brought the mirroring of his interests, which he, again, lapped up. But beyond that, what did she actually bring? Kindness? It wasn't genuine. An interest in him? It wasn't genuine. She had some of her own money, but it was small by comparison to what he had. She was not particularly well known at all. Despite the attempts to revise history to suggest that she was well known because of Suits, she was not. She was largely unheard of, and thus she gained fame by saddling up with Harry, or infamy, perhaps, if you would prefer to describe it as such. The fact is, she came with very little to offer to the party, and, typical of a mid-range narcissist such as her narcissism saw that Harry really was the big game prize. Not only was he easy to control, as a consequence of the utilization of exploiting his vulnerabilities, the utilization of false compassion, and particularly the lashings of spicy poontang, he's an emotional individual that would provide her with huge amounts of fuel. But most importantly to her also, there were plenty of character traits and residual benefits to obtain. As I've explained on many occasions, her narcissism simply yelled, "Jackpot," and rubbed its hands in glee. When the narcissist comes along, some narcissists, of course, are hugely successful. Thus, they won't take your money, they've got plenty themselves. They live in a huge house, therefore they don't need yours. They've got access to extensive networks, so they're not interested in yours. But that doesn't mean that the narcissist, even where they come with all of those trappings, won't take from you. Because the narcissist will take control of you. Take your time, your energy, your emotions, your self-dignity, your confidence, all of that will be absorbed. And some might even say that the narcissist takes your very soul. The fact is, the narcissist that is this one's wife came along and found Harry. She caused him to give up so much as a consequence of her manipulation of him. She brought very little to begin with, and she gained hugely as a consequence of ensnaring him. He didn't see it this way, of course. Blinded by his own emotional thinking and the benign manipulations that she wove around him, he was completely dumbstruck, or, perhaps to use another word, cunt-struck, in relation to her, so that he didn't see any of the red flags. He didn't know about many of them, and the few that were fluttering to him he simply ignored. He has given up so much. She continues to strip him of those things, the parasite that she is, while she gave so little. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.